Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow Ear Shoulder Voice on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch so you can live chat during the broadcast. And connect with us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our website, www.earshouldervoice.com, where you can get a live schedule of our upcoming shows, call into a live broadcast, or apply to be a guest panelist. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ear Shoulder Voice. Very glad to have you here right now. You know, we've done a lot of different shows. Since we started way back in September, we've had a lot of followers, a lot of viewers. It's been very exciting. We've covered topics, everything from suicide, depression, TV shows, video games, and that's been great. We've been able to engage everybody on different things they're going through, but one of the things we did when we started Ear Shoulder Voice was we were an open forum for everybody to talk and speak about anything they wanted to talk about. And we were going to be there and we were going to discuss it. Somewhere in the mix, I think we might have lost that. So we welcome you to our very first ESV Open Forum show. We're going to be doing this every Sunday at 7. Our topic shows will return on Wednesdays. We're glad to have you. This show does not have a specific topic, and it is driven by you, the viewer. So all you have to do is engage us through chat, which you can do right on the panel on Facebook or YouTube. Or you can also call into the show live by going to earshouldervoice.com/join. While you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow Ear Shoulder Voice on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter. We're on all those, and we look forward to seeing you there. So, of course, I can't really have a full conversation about this at all if I don't have a panel to discuss it with, so let's bring them in. All right, our first panelist tonight is, of course, you know him, you've seen him. He's done music on here. He's done everything you can imagine. He's always a pleasure to have. Please welcome Anthony. Anthony, how's it going?
Not too bad, Keith. How you doing?
I am good. I'm excited for this first, open forum here. Hopefully we get some people talking about some different subjects for us.
Yeah, should be a good time.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you are, is there anything that's been going on in your life? Anything exciting happening?
Well, I wouldn't say exciting so much, but, there's...
Well, it could be exciting to me. Give it a shot. Let's see.
There's really nothing exciting.
Nothing. All right. Well, that was definitely...
It's the same monotonous stuff for me lately. It's kind of been not so fun, but you get through it,
You do get through it, but it does. It can get repetitive sometimes. And it's really weird because, like, for me, with pandemic, we had all this break and everything changed so much for me. And I'm back, and I feel like it's monotonous again. I don't know how the fuck that works. I don't know.
It doesn't take long.
No, it doesn't take it. It was like that day. I'm like, okay, I'm over this. I'm done with this.
Okay, can we go back to lockdown again?
Right. That way I can be.
Not really, but
that way I can be bored and it's not my fault. Yeah. I got something to blame for it.
Exactly.
All right. We're going to bring in our next panelist. Please welcome Gabe. Gabe, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm very, very good right now.
Excellent.
I was just talking, like I said in the intro, we've done all these topic shows. You guys have been a part of them before, and I kind of did miss some of the point that I had when I initially launched the show was it was open to talk about anything, and I don't think a lot of people realize that they could engage us with anything when we had specific topics on the show.
Sure.
So, do you think this open forum thing is going to be a good idea? Do you think people are going to go for it?
Absolutely. I mean, you never know until you throw it out there, but I hope so.
I
Definitely.
hope so. You hope so.
Right.
So, what's been going on in your life lately?
My daughter, she's been in cast. She's got cerebral palsy, so due to the pandemic, she wasn't able to go to physical therapy, and because of that, her leg regressed a little bit. So for the past couple months, she's been getting serial casting, which is a weekly cast that points the foot and sort of gets it back to zero. And we're at the back end of that, and her motion range is in the positive for the first time last week, and we're almost done with it. So
is she like progressing normally or ahead of schedule? It sounds like that she's doing better than expected.
Well, it took some time. obviously because of the pandemic, but it's working out. So we're almost back to the point where she was kind of before this all started happening. But with the way that it works is that your muscles grow before your bones, or your bones grow before your muscles, one or the other. And sometimes that messes with things, So getting that on track has been a blessing, and we're happy to be
Does it seem like
almost done with it.
be able to make a full recovery with it, or is it something that's going to
Yeah, she's almost there. So at that point, it's just going to be we're done with casts, and then she just has to wear a leg brace,
That's
and
really
then
good.
and then we're back to normal. So we're good.
Well, normal is something we often like. Well, almost all the time. It's like me and Anthony were just talking about normal can get that mundane thing too going. But in your situation, I think normal is definitely something to look forward to.
Yes,
and getting
normalcy. Any type of normalcy at all.
How's it been affecting her? Like,
Well,
she
I mean,
been able to-
she's yeah. It's less and less. Towards the beginning, they're pointing the foot up more, so there's more tension in the cast. But now that she's at the end of it, it's not really pulling anymore so much as it's just a hard cast that's on her, and it's not working anymore. It's just keeping her where she's at. So
Oh, gotcha.
it's been
Well,
good.
as long as she's participating with it, because I was a little bitch when I had to wear a cast on my arm, and I was a bitch about it. I was like, "Fuck you, I don't want to wear this cast."
She's a champ. So So this is what my 7-year-old has to do on a weekly basis. She has to go and get a cast cut off, and then get a new one put on. And we're in there for 3 hours every Monday or every week, doing that. And she's been a trooper, man. She's been great.
I'm a little jealous of the fact that she gets her cast cut off every week. Because I'm going to tell you, mine's been on for like 6 to 8 weeks. That thing itches like a bitch.
Well, yeah,
I
but
want that
getting it
muscle-
off, getting it off just to get another one. on
Right,
can't
it's
be
not.
fun.
There's
There's
got to
only
be something in that moment of relief, though.
there's only so many times you can go. Oh, you want it to be pink this time, and then she's like, "Fuck this! I'm not doing this anymore." So
Well, hey, it's just around the corner. That's all going to be finished. Hello to everybody who is watching right now. I see you out there right now. If you have anything you want to talk about, any issues, any topics you want to bring up, feel free to do so. If you want to jump on the show, you can easily do that by going to earshouldervoice.com/join. You can join by just audio or video if you choose. Very easy to do. We look forward to hearing your comments on there. So, Anthony,
Yes. Yes.
your life is mundane.
Well, yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's mundane, but it
Isn't
feels
everybody's?
mundane, right? Like it's. I feel like
I don't wanna
I'm
admit it.
trapped into the same schedule every day. Wake up, go to work, go home, go to sleep, wake up, go to work,
Go to the bar, go home.
go to the bar, yeah. Karaoke every now and then.
There's got to be something for that, for the stress relief there.
Yeah. I mean, it. Yes and no. At first, it was like cool, get to go out, get to sing songs again, have a good time, and then now it's kind of like okay, singing karaoke. Is there something else to do?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, not
Wait a
that I
minute,
don't
isn't
like
karaoke enough? I'm running that shit.
Karaoke's great, right? But every now and then you get in these points where it's like, well, I don't really feel like singing,
right.
but I should because it's something I enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I
weird.
should, because you make it sound like a job, even though it's something you enjoy doing. Like, I should do it because I enjoy it, god damn it.
Exactly.
I'm like,
And that's, kind of thinking like that. I'm like, okay, well, what's wrong with me right now? Why am I thinking something fun is more of a chore than a fun activity? But
But it's also good to have that as a list of options, and there's not a list of options right now. So
yeah.
that's true. So you go back into that whole repetitive, mundane thing, I guess.
right.
Going with that, because, well, I could sit here or I could go sing. And sometimes you might want to go there and not sing, and I don't think that's an option for you. I'm just guessing.
No. As much as I'd like it to be, sometimes it's, the guy who runs the show just doesn't like when I don't sing.
I heard that
Oh,
guy's
he
rude.
sounds like an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has his moments.
Maybe he just likes to show off talent. I don't know.
Oh,
As long as it doesn't exceed his own. But we won't
Fair.
get into that.
fair.
I also heard he gets naked.
Hey, he hasn't gotten naked in like a year because of COVID.
Yes, with the current situation,
Well,
he
it is
hasn't
cold,
gotten
too.
naked in a while.
Right, yeah.
That's right. Hello, everybody out there. What's on your mind? Feel free to chat with us and tell us because we're here to listen to you as well. Other than that, we're just going to talk about bullshit. So we'd love to have your input on anything because that's what we're here for. First open forum show. We can't wait to hear what you got to say. So feel free to chat or even call in by going to earshouldervoice.com/join because we're there for you. And
So
or you
Keith-
can leave. I don't know. Yeah.
Keith, what's new with you? You got some fun stuff going on? You enjoying life?
Well, yeah, I just started this open forum thing on my show. like,
Yeah, how's that working out?
a little slow right now. A little slow, I'm going to be honest. Not as, active as I was hoping to be. You know what I miss is Bill. We haven't had Bill on in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah?
On there. I hope he's doing okay. Because Bill's always good on here. Chat, not a whole lot's been going on. Mostly just trying to balance time. And I'm actually trying to fit in video game time for a change.
Nice.
That's good. It's always
not-
important.
I think video game time is very important. I need something to occupy me. Somewhere TV's been a mess. There hasn't been shit. They did, however, release the new Punky Brewster. Did anybody see it yet?
I watched about 15 minutes of it.
Yeah, I made it through 2 episodes.
Good for you. Good for you.
It wasn't easy.
I think it was a mistake to go with the canned laughter format.
The only problem I really have with the show, because the show's not really bad,
Yeah.
but that laugh track is retarded.
Yeah, it's
Sorry
just
for that word if it offends it. No, I'm not. It's annoying throughout the whole thing. Like every little thing you hear that laugh track, and it's the woos and the whoos, and I'm like, this is.
You know what
way
the
too
ironic
bad.
thing is too? So the question is, have you seen WandaVision?
I was just about to ask that.
Right.
I
So does watching WandaVision make it worse?
Oh, WandaVision. Well, WandaVision it fit.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
understand it in WandaVision.
right, but you tolerated it for a couple episodes, but you still noticed it, and you're like, I'm so glad this is going away. And then watching Punky Brewster, you can tell the entire thing was sort of a stressful situation. It comes through on the screen of them making sure that, obviously this is a lot of pressure for her because she hasn't done anything in a long time. So
Yeah, Soleil hasn't done much at all.
getting this done during a pandemic, it's a lot of pressure, and obviously, her getting and settling back into that has got to be a complicated thing. But it was hard. It was too hard for me.
Yeah, it was. I was a huge fan of Punky Brewster growing up when I was a kid.
Me too, yeah.
I really liked Punky Brewster. But they had fun with some of the shows, too. There was the message shows, there was the fun shows. And it's I think they're trying to cram every serious part of the show into one.
Right.
And try to get all out of the way as quick as they can. And they're missing some of the fun aspect. Really, the show is... I stuck to this. I'm going to watch a few more episodes because I didn't think it was bad. But that laugh track, if anything, get rid of it. It's totally unnecessary, and it's just too much. Even a little bit.
It can move slower. I mean, nobody's seen Punky Brewster really in 30, 40 years or 30 years, so it's like reintroduce everybody, chill out, have, just the way that they introduced the original show where it's just like,
yeah, I mean,
this
it
is
took
what's
3
happening.
shows of the original show to get Punky even into Henry's house.
Right.
It was the first 3 episodes it took to where she was adopted.
It
I mean,
took
we knew it
its
was going to
time.
happen. But you're right, it took its time. And it's also a little harder for a show like that because they're doing all these revivals, but it's harder because you have Punky and Sherry.
Yeah.
That's it. And Margot, but Margot hasn't been in it yet. I don't know if she's going to be. I think she's supposed to be in it at some point. But that's it. You've lost George Gaines. He died in 2016, and he was awesome. He would have been great to have on there, obviously.
Well, many episodes.
Of course, he would have been 99. He was 99 when he died, so if he lived this long, he'd be 104.
Yeah.
So it would be a little harder. He'd have to be starting some show with Betty White at that point. And you lost Sherry's mom, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember when she died, but I know she passed away as well. And it's really hard when you only have 2 main characters. It's not enough to cling to, not enough to wait for a return of somebody. And Punky is not really Punky anymore. She's an adult. Her charm was being a little kid.
Yeah.
Any other remakes you've seen that they think that you've done them well?
Anthony?
I guess that's a no from Gabe.
No, I haven't seen remake. On Vision, though, I watched that first episode, and gave up. I was like, this is stupid. I hate
It was.
everything about it. And I think a buddy of mine called me and was like, oh, have you seen WandaVision? I was like, yeah, I watched the first episode and just said, okay, I'm not going to not going to watch it anymore. And then he kind of convinced me to keep watching and power through the oldies.
The first three. If you get through the first three, then it turns into regular Marvel.
Even the
and
second
now I'm
one,
hooked.
Yeah,
Now
it's great.
I'm caught up fully, and I'm just
big
like,
time
oh,
now. I'm
man.
I haven't seen the latest one because I watch
Yeah.
it with my brother when he comes over, and he hasn't come over yet this week, so I haven't watched that one yet.
Right.
But I get hooked on that show. The thing is I found out because it was supposed to be released in hour-long episodes. Because of the pandemic and filling time, they chopped them into half hour, and that's what hurt them. Because you didn't get any kind of hint or reveal of what's going on, or you're curious until the end of the second episode.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
why
if that had
first
been the
episode-
entire beginning, because I was like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
And then I
Right.
I saw all these reviews on it. Everybody's raving how great it is. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a little longer.
Yeah.
And then it was the third episode that really started to catch me. And by the fourth, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm into this.
Yeah, they were smart. Obviously, that's the thing. It's like the whole Leave It to Beaver thing it's going to alienate people right away because you got a large viewer base that wants to get in there and get their Marvel on.
Yeah.
So to see something which is uniquely different, and actually ties into, a original storyline is required patience. But thankfully, the payoff has been excellent with that.
Yeah.
I love Marvel's attention to detail too, and like the things they carry over from the movies and other like series and stuff like that.
I love the fact that they're uniting TV show and movie universes. Finally,
Yes.
with at least the cast especially.
Yep.
That you've got the same characters, because that was unheard of. Probably even 10 years ago, that was unheard of.
Yeah, they're doing a
Agents
really
of
good
S.H.I.E.L.D.,
job.
I think, was the first one that was able to pull that off, and even then they had to recast several people or, change a bit around to make it work.
Yeah, I tried that, and for
I couldn't get into
3
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
seasons, and it didn't work out for me.
One season, I was done. However, did you see Superman and Lois?
No, how was that?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I really, really liked it. It's a very unique take on the series. The whole Superman thing, and I enjoyed it. I didn't like Lois and Clark. Smallville was okay for what it was, but I thought Smallville got repetitive and not good towards the end at all. But this, it's only been the one episode, and I absolutely love it.
good.
It's very serious because he's got kids now and they're teenagers, and it's just
Right.
it's a different view. It's really, really well done. So if you get a chance, I'd check that one out. And there's always Cobra Kai. That's kind of a remake.
Oh, Cobra Kai's, I love that.
That is
Love
one of
that
my
show.
all-time favorite shows on right now.
Yeah, I think they do really well with that.
Cobra Kai.
I mean, it's
because
cheesy as hell.
so
It
is
is.
Karate Kid.
Thankfully,
But
there's
it's found the right mix of nostalgia, current events, good, the cast, switching focus away from them as well as constantly including them. It was just a perfect mix.
for the most part. I think a lot of times the one fault is when they spend too much time on the kids doing. It's so melodramatic from the kids' point of view. It's just them with serious faces and like always wanting to fight. And
I just love the answer to everything is karate fight.
right, exactly.
But that was
As it-
Karate Kid too.
as
I
it
mean,
should
as
be.
well.
Yeah.
Karate's the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised they haven't delved into the new Karate Kid at all, because Will Smith produced it. So I'm surprised that they went the route they did. I'm glad they did more than anything. And I thought, if you haven't seen it, which if you're into Cobra Kai, you've seen it already. Elizabeth Shue, the way they put her character in it was phenomenal, and I think exactly how they had to do it.
Yeah.
Because it made sense. Her returning for any other reason would not have made sense. I don't think. Even though I didn't know how they were going to do it when they did it, I'm like, that makes perfect sense. That's a great arc for her. Because who goes back to their high school crush like that you met once and have two guys fighting over you the whole time? Mm-hmm. It doesn't work that way where it's all romantic and perfect.
No, it came out very organic, for sure.
Organic's good. I like organic. It makes me happy. That's why I like what we do.
Oh,
So
Everybody's
I
quiet
did
out
watch, and which leads me into sort of the next question here, which I think we should talk about, is the HBO Max release, the new Tom and Jerry movie. All
I
right.
haven't watched it yet.
Don't worry about it. don't bother. You've literally seen the movie 100 million times. It's the
With-
most generic movie you've ever seen.
With every other one, like the Smurfs and Garfield
Right.
and all that.
I mean, it's essentially it revolves around an internet couple who's about to get married at a hotel. So it's the hijinks of the management of the hotel and the hijinks of wedding preparation, all surrounded by the violence of Tom and Jerry.
well, we
so-
should have that.
You know, for kids, it's fine. But so that leads me to they're starting to release all these movies. You have Paramount Plus coming out pretty soon, who's also going to sort of follow suit with HBO Max. And they're going to start releasing movies streaming through these subscription channels. Do you think that movie theaters are on death's door?
That's actually what I was going to ask you. I didn't know that's where you're going with it. The minute you said it was released on HBO Max, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to say yes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I love the movie theater experience. I will still go to movies. I think Anthony's frozen. There he is. I will still, just for a moment, you were.
just very still.
Just handsomely, like, paused.
I'll still go to the movies. I love the big screen. I love actually seeing everything on the big screen. I love the sound. I love the audience reaction within reason. You know, I don't want a loud theater, but I like reactions from the audience. I think that adds a lot to it. I would always prefer to see a movie on the big screen,
I disagree.
if I could. With the exception of like a romance or a drama, or not something that doesn't benefit from the screen. Like big budget blockbusters, sci-fi, good comedies sometimes. Those, I think, benefit from the big screen in the audience. Why do you disagree?
I just don't like going out to the movie
Oh, well,
theater. I feel like, well, especially like, so back, I don't know, however many years ago, before everyone had a 65 or 50 plus inch TV with surround sound everywhere. Like, yeah, if you wanted to see high quality with great sound, you had to go to the movie theater. But now I feel like everyone's got 4K TVs with a nice surround system, so you wait till it comes out, you watch it in the comfort of your home for a fraction of the cost, and then as well, if you have to go to the bathroom, you can just pause it.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the biggest argument I think people have is the bathroom and the pause feature.
And you can partake, and you can also drink and do whatever, and you don't have to worry about driving home. So yeah, I definitely see the appeal of that.
Well, I think you're wrong in every way.
Well, I mean, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. Saying that the movie theaters isn't a good experience because, what was it, The Hobbit, when they came out with the super high def 3D.
Oh,
Whatever.
well, yeah, stuff like that, I agree.
That in the movie theaters was amazing, right?
Sure.
Because it looked like you were just looking through a window, right? With how good the quality of everything was. But other than movies like that, I mean, I get close enough quality at home, but I'm a lot more comfortable.
I do think, that, I do believe you can get the good quality. Most of the projectors, they use 4 to 8K projectors. Most of them still only use 4K projectors anyway. Nowadays, which you can get on your 4K TVs. So, yeah, the quality is better, but it doesn't make it right. Because it's the experience of the quiet and not having people talking during it. And see, I like that. I don't like when I'm interrupted. When I'm watching at home, I have people asking me what's going on. I have people trying to talk to me or anything like that. And I'm not as isolated with everybody else engaged in the movie. 90% of the time, if I'm at home and I'm watching movies with people, they're on their phones doing their own things. They're not paying attention to what's going on. They're missing things. They're asking me what happened. Oh, I got to rewind it to show you because you missed it because you were too busy Candy Crushing or whatever the fuck you're doing on Facebook.
I think that's a discussion you need to have with the residents of your home.
Yeah, you need to tell them, okay, the
Right.
movie's starting, turn your phone off,
Movie
or
time.
in the silent button.
But
or
it still doesn't.
get a
But
jar.
you can, doesn't change anything, and most people will not do that in somebody's private.
And you can
residence.
also play the commercials that they play right before the movie theater
That I actually do.
and say, listen, rules still apply here. No cell phones. I'm going to call you out.
So do you think it's going to hurt if it does destroy the movie theaters?
I don't know. I think that the world is about to start going in a very
Lazy direction?
lazy direction in certain regards to shopping. I mean, look at Best Buy. They just laid off 5,000 people. I think if one hindrance that this lockdown or this pandemic has done has made people forced the people that wouldn't normally switch over to virtual things like delivery of groceries or purchasing from Amazon or watching streaming services, things like that.
I agree. I agree with Jeremy what he says too. I don't think most people know how to watch movies anymore.
Yeah.
There is something. We had seen a movie. Me and Jeremy did, and it wasn't worth the view. It was Fantasy Island when it came out, so we really wanted to see the horror take on that.
How was
And
that?
one thing, I mean,
Okay.
it was a movie.
All right.
It had a beginning, it had a middle, it had an end too.
Sure.
So, not that it made sense, but it was there
Okay.
at one point. And one of the things that we had discussed too was what he said: people don't know how to sit and watch a movie. Shut the fuck up. Watch the movie.
Sure.
And I think when you're not doing it in a theater, that's more common. That people are just going to interrupt and they're going to talk and they're going to explain and try to, ask you what happened or what you understand or anything like that. I'd rather wait till after the movie and get those questions.
Yeah. I feel like people don't know how to do a lot of things anymore in social gatherings. Like, even if you go out to eat with some friends, everyone's on their phone constantly. Like, everyone's so involved with, something else other than what they're doing. Something's more important to them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of social interactions aren't the same anymore. And it's stupid.
Even though I think that if you ask them that question, they know that whatever they're doing on their phone is not more important.
Referring to
And
Fantasy
it's-
Island, I just want to say, no,
Sure.
it's not a movie that he needs to add to his collection. And I think he is right in every way on that.
That's good. I looked at it and I said, nah.
It could have been a great take on it.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. It
Sure.
wasn't done properly. But it could have been. But go ahead.
So the question is, has all of the phone stuff and everybody addicted to phones and things like that, and sort of looking at these social media threads and things like that, has it trained our brains to give about 5 minutes worth of attention to everything out there? And is that sort of the direct cause of what Anthony's talking about, as far as just people being too fidgety in social situations where they look at it as sort of a crutch at this point because they're so addicted to it?
Well, it's because they've forgotten how to be social anymore. The only way they know how to be social is without actually being there.
That dog's
Like-
social.
Yeah, well, the dog, he hasn't forgotten. Well,
That's right.
even he spends half the time on his damn phone.
I know.
I don't get. He's always texting people. He's fucking addicted to Tinder. I'm telling you right now. He's like,
Oh,
all the
man.
bitches on here. Who? I was like,
Swipe right. It's a numbers game.
it's all a numbers game on there. But we have. You can't go. I mean, I'm amazed when I would go to restaurants pre-pandemic. You'd see all these tables with all these people, and everybody was looking down at their phone.
Mm-hmm.
There's no interaction. They don't know how to talk to even their family anymore. Not that everybody wants to talk to their family. Some family sucks, but we've lost that.
Yeah, I mean, we
Now-
all need a stirred talking to about the way we're going, because it does seem like
Yeah, but saying strict talking to is like makes you sound kind of old there. So,
yeah, but it's a lot of times it's the old people that are into there, that are sort of swept away by the social media and stuff like that.
yeah, well, they get just addicted because I mean, what, probably 10, 15 years ago, somewhere in that range. Even the old people were like, I can't get into these phone things. I don't get it. I don't know. And then they discovered Facebook, or they discovered a game, and they are just as addicted. But it's not stopping there, because now that you've got Uber Eats and DoorDash and Grubhub and all that, you don't have to go out to eat. You can get grocery delivered now. Now with Amazon, you don't really have to go shopping.
Yep.
We literally have created one of the most lazy societies in the world, and I think it's just going to get worse.
Sure.
They're gonna have workouts now. You're not gonna have to go to the gym. It's gonna tell you just turn around, lift your arm, do whatever you got to do, so you don't even have to physically do anything. So people can just sit on their table and act like they're doing exercise.
Or just build a machine that stretches for you.
Like Wally.
Right.
It's going to turn into Wally soon.
Right.
The new red is blue.
Well, and I feel like with social media too, it creates like a false life for people, right? And like I had a conversation a couple years ago with a friend of mine. They weren't doing so great mentally, and they're like, I feel like my life is lacking. And I go on Facebook and Instagram, and I see all of these people posting all of these great, vacation pictures and posting about all the good things that are going on in their lives, and it kind of makes you feel like, well, where am I going wrong? Where's all my nice stuff? But you don't see any of the bad, so just because someone's posting on all these lavish vacations, that doesn't mean that their life is nothing but vacations.
Right.
It's the only, and so it kind of sends a false sense of, you can have whatever life you want, and you start comparing yourself to other people's best moments, right? And you compare your life to their best life, and you start thinking to yourself, well, shit, what's wrong with my life? Like, I wish my life was better. I want that. But
when it's nothing more than you just not keeping up with the Joneses as far as taking the filtered pictures during your experiences and sort of posting every sort of, a lot of people, if you're practical and if you're genuine, I think you stay in the moment and you don't necessarily look at the camera or look for a camera when you are enjoying yourself, in order to make sure that you have to capture it and sort of make sure that everybody knows that at exactly 7:24 I had this great of a time, So, yeah, like you're talking about, I think people put the best of their world up and they filter out all of the bullshit that we all have. And some are just better at maintaining their page with joy than the rest of us,
Well, yeah.
yeah,
So that image is what people see, and yeah, it's tough because you do get that I'm not keeping up with the Joneses sort of thing. This person that's 10 years younger than me seems to have it so much better, and I get those moments as well, but then I sort of just have to remind myself that it's all bullshit.
well, and I've fallen into that thought process too, and then I kind of just look back at my life and I'm like, no, I've done a lot of cool shit. I've gone a lot of cool places,
Right.
but I just don't post about it.
Exactly.
Right? I don't find myself taking a lot of pictures, and if I do, I just keep them to myself, right? And but not having it out there and not having that, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? That validation
Yeah.
that your life is so good.
There you are.
There's Bill.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
was gonna
Bill.
say Bill wouldn't be too happy with this cast right now because
No, it's not. It's not right for Bill at all.
Yeah.
None of us can even pass as one of the women, so it's not going to work for him.
I mean,
Glad to
I'm
have you here. We
growing
miss
my
you,
hair,
Bill.
but
Don't worry, we'll have our women will be back on the panel. They're just not on tonight, but they'll be back. Don't worry about that, Bill. We've got you covered. We're doing our first open forum, so we can talk about anything. Apparently, we're going to talk about Sausage Fest and where are the women.
All right.
if you want, I can pull my hair down a little bit. It's
The beard's going to be a giveaway.
That's true.
Now, as far as the stash part, I know women who have that, but the beard's going to be a hard one to cover up.
Yeah,
I know.
Sorry,
Both of you
Bill.
guys have nice long hair, and you're hiding it back there. It was streaked back.
It's not that well. It's long because of pandemic, not because I want it to be.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
my-
enjoy is what I'm saying. Is enjoy it. Okay, is what I'm saying.
Jeremy is one of this. Is he thinks we're in the middle of it all, in the eye of the social media storm. We would love things to go back to normal, but what if things are evolving, interacting and socializing is evolving? Us old folk have a back in my day mentality. Well, fuck you, Jeremy. I'm not an old folk. I'm an old folk. Never mind.
No, we
But
definitely
you're right.
are.
It is an evolution, but sometimes when you evolve, it doesn't mean to forget the past. It means to change with it. And I think that's what's happening, because nothing was ever going to happen in our society where suddenly we're going to stop, well, pandemic, never mind, but stop interacting socially with each other. Like, we're always going to be there for each other, whether there's electricity, whether there's technology, whether there's any of that. We're now grooming a civilization that if technology goes down for whatever damn reason, nobody's going to know what to do. We're going to all die in our chair just hitting our phones waiting for them to go on.
Where's the internet? I need internet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean,
Can't
you're-
unlock my door. It's charged. It's not
I
charged.
refuse to get the automatic locks. No, thank you.
Right. Eh? What?
Well, yeah, then you're screwed. You can't even get in your house.
Yeah.
Which could be a good thing, I guess.
Sure.
That would help. But we are in the middle of it. He's right on that. And I'm just lowering because my chair decided it didn't want to stay up. So I was like, out of the blue, I'm just lowering. So we'll fix that. Instead of fixing that, I'll just tilt my camera down.
There you go.
There you
There
go.
we go. Much better. All right, now I can pretend everything's good. But I don't know how we can totally change it. And I think part of it is like a parental thing. I think it's where parents get lazy and they're shoving on in front of the TV and on the phone. They did that with us too. They shoved, our generation too, shoved in front of the TV, but made us go outside and stuff. But to where they're becoming totally dependent on it, and it's laziness with the parents that they don't want to interact anymore.
But
they
is
want
it
that to
something
control
that they don't understand? Much
for
like
sure.
the last generation, I mean, there's only so many things. Obviously, if you have a parent that is not into technology at all, it is not going to take much for a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old to hide those types of interactions from their parents, so that they have no clue. Whether it be hidden apps or changing the icons or on your cell phones or things like that.
The
So
Howie guy, that's Gabe. I think it's the Howard Stern thing. I think that's what he means by that. We'll get back to that
Howie
comment in a
guy.
minute, Bill. Now
Bill
Bill
knows.
says
He's
and,
been on
yeah,
here with
this is
me.
The topic. We're going to talk about this. So my friend was just told by her father that she doesn't really associate with it. He has cancer. He wants to make things better all of a sudden. Wow. Really? Now, why now? I mean, how's your friend reacting to this at this point? Because this isn't the first time I've seen something like that. It's when you get that mortality thing going on, and you're faced with the fact that you're going to die, you're going to do this. You want to make sure you haven't. You look back at your life and you realize a lot of mistakes you've made, and you want to fix it. The problem is you're doing that with people who have lived their life without you, who have lived their life pretty much with you not existing. What are you looking at over there? What are you looking at over there, Anthony?
I'm looking at my other monitor.
Well, he's hoping to make peace, right?
Yeah, that's ultimately what they want to do, is try to make peace. Now, I've always been torn on this. I've always wondered, because, like with my dad right now, I don't know that I'd have any interest in even communicating with him in the same situation. He's never been there. He's talked on a rare occasion. That was about it.
Right.
If he came to me. But is that the right decision? To deny somebody that, if they're actually coming to terms at that point?
I don't think there's a wrong one. I think it's whatever your sort of heart tells you. I mean, if you want to be that person that goes, well, if he has terminal cancer, I'm going to sort of let him do his thing, try to do his apologies, and sort of make that good, regardless of whether or not of his success rate for cancer, or you can just be no. You weren't there before. You weren't there enough to build that relationship. So I'm not going to bother with it, and I'm not going to bring it into my life.
Hi,
And
Kathy. Love and miss you. Just want to say that really quick.
I don't think either way is wrong.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you have the argument where it's not fair to the father at this point that she's not associating with him. But you also have to look at it from her perspective, right? Because if the father wasn't there for however many years or wasn't around and anything like that, then it's not fair to expect her now all of a sudden, because of the circumstance, to just pretend everything in the past didn't happen and just put it aside. So it's a tough situation, and there really isn't a right or wrong thing to do.
Yeah, because faking it, if you have genuinely no connection to that person, there's a lot of people out there that have more of a connection to their coworkers than they do their father or their mother because they've never been there. So to force that, is complicated. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, then I don't think you should have to. And if you feel like you want to sort of go through that and try to mend things, that's fine too, but
I think
just
it's
take
sometimes
it day to day.
it might have to do with the reason for that you were estranged to begin with too. Was it one of those things where you just had a big fight at one point and didn't talk to each other for a long time?
Right.
Or was it one of the ones where never there really since a child, since birth, and you never really got to communicate with them? Because there's a big difference there, because sometimes you could look at it, if it was just a big fight and you didn't talk for 30, 40 years sometimes over a big fight, you can look at that situation and try to rekindle a past, but it's a lot harder when there's no past to rekindle.
Exactly.
And there's nothing else there.
And I kind of understand that a little bit because with the situation with my father, granted he's not in any terminal state, but when him and my mom divorced when I was 14, things kind of went to the wayside with him. He would have us every other weekend, every other holiday, all of that, and he wasn't really around for the formative things, or the band things, the sports games, the stuff like that. And so my brother and my sister don't really associate with him too much. They don't really reach out. Because they don't have a relationship with him. Right? And I have a relationship with my father still. I talk to him. He was living with me for a while. He moved out last month.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the middle.
Middle.
Yeah. And I feel like, so my parents got divorced because my dad was cheating on my mom. And my sister was 16, and she kind of had one experience and one mindset of the whole thing. My brother was too young to really understand a lot of it, but he kind of picked up on, well, dad's not really spending time. Right? And then there's me that doesn't think like either of them and kind of understands both sides of it. So I've always tried to remain like a neutral party for everyone. Mm-hmm. And at times it sucks, but I mean, that's how I choose to deal with my situation is, yeah, he did that, but who knows what was going on in his mind,
Right.
No one's a mind reader. No one knows. There's two sides to every story. Right?
And it's a different experience entirely for him as it is for you, So, yeah, for sure. I'm sort of the same boat. My parents were divorced ever since I was 1. So it was always kind of awkward to see them getting along, during sort of those moments of shared custody and things like that, because it just seemed so alien to me, So, my relationship with my father, so as well as with my brother, it sort of involves summers over there and a few weekends here and there, but it was, he didn't throw a ball with me ever, sort of a thing. He made a gesture sort of later and gave me a ball and a mitt, which, it meant a lot as sort of a gesture. But it was never that sort of relationship. But only until after my daughter was born did we all sort of start connecting. But my brother was sort of the same way with that you are, where sort of he would call him more and sort of count on him for those things, and I wasn't available until much later in life.
Yeah, mine. I couldn't count on mine for anything at this point. I think when you're faced with a situation like that, is the best advice I could give to your friend at all. If it was me, is first of all get yourself ready to disassociate the parent with the person who needs something,
Right.
because you've got to. If the person was never there, they're not the parent.
Yeah.
They're biologically the father, but they're not the parent, and you have to disassociate that and go talk to them. And it may require that explaining to do. Maybe they'll try to make steps to make it right at the end, but often it is more healthy for you to be able to go there and get it off your chest that you were just somebody I know.
And if
that
you're
is
looking to
sadly
get
ill.
and if you're looking to get something out of it, understand the fact that you might not get that. You know, if you're looking for some closure,
Like, you mean the father or the child?
the child, you know, if you're looking for some closure from
Oh,
the
okay. That's
situation,
I was misinterpreting what you meant by that. Okay.
I mean, you know, possibly from the father's point of view as well. You know, if he's looking for that, I mean, both of them have to go into that situation, understanding that they might not find what they're looking for if they do.
Because you really do look at it like when you're at that point, at least from what I've seen and experienced, that it's you want to make amends, you want to make it right, and you really do want to repent for all the crap you did.
Mm-hmm.
You really do want to make things better. But as a father, how would you feel in those shoes?
Yep.
You know, be able to empathize. That's the best I can really say about that, is try to separate. I think it's worth the communication effort, though.
Right.
Yeah.
To
Oh,
figure out.
it's always worth reaching out and,
Yeah.
trying to at least hear the side,
Right.
right? Because you might learn something that you didn't realize was going on, right? There might have been something going on that he just kind of kept to himself and didn't want to expose you to, and hearing that at a later date, an older age, a more mature mindset, it might make more sense to you, and you might have some sort of understanding. It might create closure, right? It might give you that sense of, okay, I don't agree with it. It's still a shitty situation, but I kind of understand the mindset and why things happened the way they did.
All right, Bill, I've got to answer this. I know you're changing the topic a little bit. You already know
Everybody,
the answer to this right now.
all of us.
All of us.
Who isn't wearing a thong right
It's
now?
the required attire for the show.
It's 2021. Everyone's wearing thongs.
Yeah.
I'm just going commando. I have this shirt on and nothing underneath. The whole bottom half. Just,
We can get away with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't if my camera keeps it. My chair keeps
just
going. I'll be
just like most Zoom calls.
I'm actually wearing a crop top.
Nice. Little Buffalo Bill action going on.
You know,
Hey.
the worst part is where I picture that in my head. Okay. And I try not to, but it's there. And it's not a picture I want to have in my head.
You're welcome.
Thank
Right.
you.
I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was a bigger guy wearing a crop top. He goes, "All right, guys, 2021. The guys are taking crop tops for women. I don't care if you're big, little. We're doing this." And he's just got this crop top with a big old beer gut. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
As we should. We're taking it back. Not that we ever had.
Oh,
it, but
so
we're
which
taking
one
it
do you
back.
think we're wearing a thong the way we're talking?
Oh,
Come on, Bill.
Everybody.
I mean, I'm really happy that you can judge guys that wear thongs just by their voice, so that makes me kind of happy.
it's really interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's an education I don't have yet. So,
Teach us your ways.
teach us, Bill. We are but your Padawans. Oh my God, Padawans, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star
Padawan?
Wars is getting ridiculous.
What about?
Everywhere, everything, all these shows that Disney has planned, everything they're doing, they're destroying the universe. I mean, don't get me wrong, the sequels did too, but or prequels or whatever. But it goes overboard. It's hard to look forward to something that's being,
I think if
thrust
you
at
get away from Skywalker though, and
Yeah.
and the Empire, then you can do whatever the fuck you want because it's an established universe.
Well, I mean, say what you will about The Last Jedi that people hated it. That was the smart move, was trying to veer that you don't have to be a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Until they changed it.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as The Last Jedi was going, that's what it was trying to do, so they could
Right.
continue. Because let's face it, even then, those actors were not going to probably make another trilogy.
But they could also just do that with, like what they're doing right now, with various individual characters in this gigantic universe of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. I would love to see what happens. I mean, it would be difficult, but I'd love to see like a Wookiee show or something like that. It wouldn't work out because it would just all be subtitles.
They
but,
did it. It was called the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Well, that was in the
They
80s.
learned their lesson.
I would like to almost see a Star Wars from the Sith perspective.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think that
hoping
would
they
be
actually-
cool because we don't really know too much except they're evil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
like
they
that's-
might go that route. Well, we kind of got that with Anakin's story, but that really wasn't. I mean, the prequels kind of was more
Little
focused on the
Annie.
Sith taking the rise, but yeah, I think it would be good to have a good story, even something of like Darth Maul or anything that to bring it in. Switch the series around a little bit. I'm still waiting, Bill. Who's wearing the thong?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put your money down.
I want to know how perceptive you are.
So I got the strange news we were talking about. I got a couple.
Strange news.
Yeah, a couple of them. Somebody, professor or something, found quartz or some sort of stone. And I'm
That
going to
is
try to
strange.
share this. That looked like this.
Oh, I
Cookie
had
Monster.
seen that before. I had
What?
seen that before. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Isn't that great?
I kind of want to buy it, but I'm not about
I
to
know.
pay 10,000
So-
for it.
Right.
$10,000. Wow.
10,000's ridiculous. Yeah,
Right?
that'd be great, but yeah, not for 10 grand.
Hey, StreamYard Broadcast Studio. Nice little advertisement.
So when I saw this, it sort of led me down a road of sort of thinking about, all those pictures that you see of Jesus in toast and things like that,
Cookie
And-
Monster Quartz is Jesus and toast.
Well, it leads you down those images that, the angels in clouds and things like that. But I sort of went further, and another topic I sort of wanted to bring up was, have you ever seen anything or done anything that was sort of supernatural or really, really cool that you weren't able to catch on video, but you did it or you saw it?
I mean, there's probably a lot of instances like that because we didn't all have video cameras way back when. We didn't have our phones. But I mean, I like to think that everything I do is like superhero-like.
Right, but
Well,
was there
of course.
Was there anything that stood out? Because I have two things that are just superhuman sort of accomplishments that were awesome. So the first thing is I was standing on a 5-story building on the roof of the Packard plant because I used to work at Splatball City back then as a ref. And I threw a Gatorade bottle off of it, and it landed upright on
That's pure luck. That's not
on the
like
ground. I don't care.
superhero.
It's superhero. I don't care. That's what I'm saying. Yes, but that to me was awesome, and someone saw it. But I'm talking stuff like that, like just cool things happening like that.
Nothing cool ever happens to me.
I can't
No.
think of anything.
I'm like, our best experience that we've ever had among the three of us is Gabe got a bottle land upright from a 5-story building.
Also, here's my other amazing trick, is that I was talking to somebody very inebriated, and he was across the room, and I asked for a cigarette, and I was talking, and I'm Sicilian, so jazz hands all the way. So, so at mid talk, he's throwing at me. He throws it at me, and I catch it. I catch it like this, and I just keep talking, like without missing a stride. And I thought that was sweet.
I find I have the best reaction and catching ability if someone just throws something at me.
That's awesome.
Like Josh will tell me, he'll look at me and he'll go catch and then throw something to me or toss it to me. Not like nice and easy, and I'll fumble the hell out of it.
Right.
But if he throws it and then says catch, I will catch it.
Yeah.
And I like not paying attention, but just instinct catch. Don't know how the hell it happens. But if you tell me, look at me and catch this, I cannot catch anything.
Right. It just has to be on
But
pure
if
instinct.
you just throw it and you're like, hey, catch this. Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah. That's the senses taking over.
It's dumb because I wish I could catch
No,
things when
I can
people tell me
sympathize
to
with
catch
that
things.
because I can relate to that because I've had like situations where if nobody tells me anything or doesn't even say anything, if it's coming at me, I can catch it without thinking twice, without even looking that direction. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna toss something to me and I know it pre-hand, you might as well just chuck it on the ground and see if I dive for it, because that's about going to be your best bet of me getting that item.
Your brain starts thinking, okay, now I have to catch this. How am I going to do this?
You're doing all this math in your
Yeah.
head. It's going to come this thing. I got to do this. Yeah, innate reactions definitely look best. I got to see this again, by the way. Just Cookie Monster
It's
course.
so good.
Well, I have one more strange one for you, and this one goes.
You're going to be our king of weird news stories.
This one goes the complete other way, and this is going to be a wince since it's a sausage fest, as Bill would say. Man has 3-inch tweezers removed from urethra after 4 years of ignoring it.
What?
So I would like to know the logistics. And
You're
think about
asking
that.
us.
And think about that situationally.
How?
So many
Why?
questions. So
To
many
start with,
questions.
how the fuck did it get there?
So let's see.
I don't really want to know that.
I don't.
Okay.
It's like, I hope that person isn't watching.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to
he
find
had-
out.
He had the tweezers removed from his urethra. The tube, yeah, obviously we know what that is. It had been lodged nearly 3 inches deep for 4 years.
Like, how do you go about life for 4 years?
Right,
Something in your urethra. Like,
So-
how?
right. Obviously, you haven't had sex. You haven't
Wouldn't think
masturbated.
so.
You've barely, like, if you pee every single time.
It's got to be like split off now.
Yeah, try aiming that.
Right, you're just sitting
We
down.
get a bad rap for aim to begin with.
Right.
And I know, now you got a funnel just
Yeah, now you
rolling
got-
over this way.
Right.
Looks like one of those octopuses that just...
How do you ignore that? Like, I mean, if you get on a, if you
know
go
what
on a
I'm talking
date
about.
and you get her home and stuff, how do you explain that situation?
I don't think you're calling anybody, right? You're not
I
swiping
wouldn't
right.
think so.
You're not swiping
There's
right
gotta
at
be
that
that
point.
moment or something you're in the middle of. It's, what's that? Just tweezers. Let me go. I was like,
But why wouldn't you get it removed? Like
the
how did
second
get
it
in there in the
happened.
first place? Like, how do
Right.
they get that far inside? And you think, I'm just going to leave it there.
And like sleep or anything, like rolling over, like
Morning
sitting, morning
Has to
wood.
be
all right, who
horrible.
is this guy? I got questions. I'm
Yeah,
gonna call him. I was like,
he's on the show right now. Let's let's bring up Paul. He showed no symptoms of infection, including fever, chills, or even inflammation around the area. He was also somehow still able to relieve himself, though it's unclear whether this caused the man discomfort or pain. I would say so.
I mean, are they sure that it was 4 years, or did he just say that? I have a hard time believing somebody kept a pair of tweezers up there for 4 years.
It says besides the lack of pain, the man may have delayed seeking medical help because he was ashamed or embarrassed, obviously. But for 4 years?
Yeah, like I get a kidney stone the size of a pebble, a little tiny thing, and I want to get that shit out of there ASAP. I don't care what you have to do.
Yeah. Stuck near the top. Oof.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Fangs-
kids at home, lesson for the day.
With its
Do
metal
not
fangs.
put tweezers in
Let's-
your urethra.
Let's make this even worse. Surgeons found that the tweezers were stuck near the top with its metal fangs in an open position. As such, removing them could lead to tearing inside the urethra. No shit.
Well, peeing's got to be easier that way. That's better than splitting off the other direction. So he put them in too far.
Why would you put tweezers anywhere near your urethra?
I do
People
not
are
know.
fucked up, Anthony.
But that's
Let's
why
have
there
to
are
accept
so many
that.
Why
There are
would you
people
wanna
that
do
are
that?
fucked up out there. It's like,
Ugh.
all right, okay. I've officially decided for our open forum because we're not going to get a lot of engagement until probably a few weeks down the road, hopefully, and we'll get a lot more. But Gabe, you're going to be in charge of finding at least 2 weird news stories for us every week.
I'm going to do it.
All right, because
I'm going deep cuts.
I have so many questions right now, and this is the first one. Like the quartz, I had questions too, but those were cool, fun questions. I'm curious. Like that's neat.
Yeah.
This one I don't want the answers to.
No.
Right, but you do. But you don't.
But
But you
I do want to know.
Well, it's
You
like a
wanna
train
know.
wreck,
I do.
right? You don't want to know anything about it, but you need to know what happened.
You have to.
Right. Because if you think about it, it sort of reverses back. And because his urethra probably did look like Cookie Monster.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Everybody.
It's the
Say, wait a
circle of
moment. Oh my God.
life. Yeah.
So yep. So there we have it. If you do end up putting tweezers in your urethra, it's going to look like this. That's right. So don't
God.
do it. All right.
Yeah.
On that note, all right. Well, it's been our hour show. We're going to try to keep these around an hour long. So I want to thank everybody who did join us, everybody who talked to us. Bill, we helped your friend out in that. Jeremy, thank you for your comments and everything. I was glad to have everybody here. This was a lot of fun.
This was fun.
I think this is going to turn out to be good. It's going to take a little getting the engagement going for it, but I think it's going to turn out really well. It's kind of nice to just be able to talk about anything, get some topics out there.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate it. Appreciate what everybody did. So again, my name is Keith Litfin. I'm from Ear Shoulder Voice. Don't forget while you're here to like, share, subscribe, and follow Ear Shoulder Voice on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and I think that's all. Oh, Instagram. Damn, missed one. All right. So we'll be on there. You can watch live, comment during the show if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. As well as every Sunday now, our open forum shows, just as was tonight. So we're just going to talk about anything, possibly current events, news, stuff that's going on. Stuff that may be bothering us, may not be, but we invite you to talk about anything, bring the topic up just as Bill did, which was really appreciated during the show.
Yes,
and
thank
we
you.
will talk about it. Our next topic coming up on Wednesday, back to our topic shows on Wednesday, is I Have No Choice, the controlling relationship. This was actually canceled previously because of, I believe it was the January 6th situation we had when we did the special on the riots at the time. So that'll be coming back, and that's coming up on this Wednesday. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Anthony. Good to have you. There's no final word on open forum, so I don't have that other video to go on. And we will see you all later. Take care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
You going to say bye, Anthony?
Bye.
Okay. And don't forget, look, kids, this can happen to you. If you put tweezers in your urethra, that can happen.
Yeah, that picture really brought it home, didn't it?
Did you, try to mix those two things up?
No, it was pure coincidence. But
Well, and from now on,
but
both
now it
stories
looks
are going
like
to have
your
to
whole-
go full circle.
Right. When you have to go.
Right.
Because the story, it gave you plenty of visualization. And then you go back to that picture, and it just looks like some dude holding a sack. With,
Oh, God.
yeah.
I was wondering if you did them intentionally, because I can't imagine
No.
looking at those rocks and going that kind of looks like a urethra.
I
with tweezers
figured,
in it.
hey, let's do something nice, and then we'll do something dirty if it seems like it's going that way. Because I wasn't even sure how what rating the open forum was going to be.
It's our standard just
right
Sunday.
So, I
Now you
figured
join, Bill. We just ended the show. How you doing?
No, I was doing laundry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Our open forums are only going to be about an hour long unless we get some deep topics in there to really cover that people want to talk about. But because right now we haven't really gotten everybody in. But I'm glad you were able to join us, Bill. Welcome to the end of the show.
Yeah.
You're very much welcome.
Good. You're talking about Cookie Monster and urethras.
Yes. Specifically
catch it?
tweezers in urethras.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gabe was going over some weird news stories. One was some guy had tweezers in his urethra for like 4 years. It was a very interesting thing. And then we had our quartz, which was there. See? Quartz that looked like Cookie Monster.
I heard some bizarre stories myself. I heard one time of a person have the lead pencils that you used to turn, and the lead would come out.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go to the ER because he had one in there.
Oh, that's good enough. Oh, in there?
Yeah.
Well, if you just keep turning it, won't it push itself out?
No, I don't know. I don't know the full details. I don't know the full
It's like
details.
the opposite of a sword swallower.
I guess it was. He was trying to massage his urethra or something to simulate sex or something.
Massage anything with.
And
I'm into a lot of experimentation and fun and trying new things, and I'm all for that. You ain't putting shit in my dick hole.
But if you think about it too, the logistics of that, you have something that breaks just in an instant. Whether you have it and you're just writing, it snaps in half. So why would you shove that?
I almost busted a gut.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I've never understood that. I mean, they make toys and stuff designed to do stuff like that. I just don't get it.
I thought they made all kinds of people in the world, and then I read that. Well, I don't either.
You
but
found out they made a
people
few
do
more.
Some weird stuff, Yeah. I was just like stymied. What possessed a person to do that? Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well,
I have no idea what you could possibly be thinking to think that's a good idea in any way. I mean, no.
I don't know. What could you possibly be thinking about Tide Pods? I mean,
that's a challenge. That's different.
Yeah,
That's a good argument.
It's a challenge.
That's on our next show. We're all going to do the Tide Pod challenge.
No. Well, and I want to
No,
say...
we're going to bring in volunteers. We're not going to do it ourselves.
I saw something where they were putting, like, alcohols in those Tide Pod things, so you pop a shot and bite down on it, and then the alcohol bursts, and you do a shot that way. I want to say I saw something like that. And I'm like, so we just want to further Tide Pod eating? Because that's all that's going to do is it's going to make people go, oh, look, there's a shot here.
Yeah,
we got Bill here. I feel like we should go back to
different
the regular
flavors
show.
now.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you popped in. So you were able to find the link really easily that way, huh, Bill? By going to the website?
Yeah, well, I went to Facebook first, and I seen you were on. All right, and I thought, well, I'm in the middle of the show, so I could still go on. And so I got off there, and I just typed in the site on my Chrome, and got in.
And it goes right in. So that'll always be the link from now on. So that's not going to change. You go there, and that'll actually be a redirect to the actual show. So if we're on there, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you were able to do it. I'm glad you were able to come on. You were good on everything except for the whole middle of the show part. It's the only thing you missed.
Yeah.
Like the show itself. You missed the show itself.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, well,
That's okay. We're going to do these every Sunday, Bill. It's going to be just open conversation, whatever you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday now. So it should be good, and we'll be glad to have you back for that as well.
All right. Well, I'll make it a point. I'll put it on my calendar for next week.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah.
Always glad to have people on here. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. Let you end your show.
Oh, no, you're okay. Well, we already did. We're just doing like the after thing right now.
This is the end of the
Yeah,
end of the
this
show.
is the
Yeah, this
end
is
of the
like
show.
a tag thing. Yeah, this is just the tag. We already had the
Oh.
credits rolled. We came back, and there's Bill.
Right. So welcome to the end of the show.
Welcome to the end of the end.